he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His filthy fingers said it all. Yeah. Give it all. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. He's lazy, I said, oh. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. He said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. All right, give it to me, yeah. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Baby, give me some love. Well, na 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 na.
This is what I want now. No, I won't settle for anything else. I can't keep pretending. It's not getting to me. It's never ending. Can't give you what you need. Oh no, no. You're misbehaving. Yeah, it's getting to me. It's never ending. You can give anything, so you can go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Yeah, so I can focus. I just need to focus on myself.
phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face. You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face. You're so. And I quit my job for you, even quit some friends for you, 'cause you couldn't stand it, me all independent, so you had to have me for yourself. That was when I trusted you, when I could add up 2 and 2, when you promised we'd be together, you, me, forever. Now there's nothing left to lose. And though I understand it's hard sometimes to make up your mind in these trying times, yeah, I just can't accept you leaving me when I'm overseas with the heart so heavy. Think that I deserve the truth for once, not a guilty tone, 'cause you're not alone, yeah. You said you wanna come home, but I know you don't. So this time I won't hear it on the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face. You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face. You're sorry.
Join our membership program, sign up, find out what's going on, become a patron, and support our work. We're doing these amazing virtual live streams covering events, marches, protests, and actions that mainstream media just isn't covering.
A lot of these very common sense policy interventions aren't given the space they need.
You know, the truth is, before we have the political revolution, we need a media revolution.
We really see this opening in the media space with television transitioning to the internet in particular. Streaming platforms, Netflix, Hulu, etc., are the next frontier.
And we're not mainstream media. You're not getting a 10-second clip and a very watered down, whitewashed version of what's going on.
Having a media company to support these kind of movement efforts is extremely valuable.
People want to talk to us because they know that we're talking to the people.
We need a dedicated, empowered, honorable base of people who are willing to fight for what they believe in.
This needs to be all of us, not just like watching great content, not just sharing great content, but taking the correlated action and making sure that together these movements are more effective across the board.
We are amplifying activist messages, activist movements, activist campaigns, activist call to action. There's no more important work to be done in this country right now, and ACT TV is doing it, and we need you to be a member. Go to ACT.tv and sign up to be a member today.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Every morning and every evening, and maybe we can't get any higher. But if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Making you move, it sure looks good. Playing it cool like you know you should. Put on a smile that's one of a kind. And I can't get you off my mind. I'm running too hot, I need to cool me down. I'm flying so high, I don't see the ground. I'm running too hot, I need to cool me down. I'm flying so high, I don't see the ground. Baby, you set my soul on fire. Every morning and every evening, and maybe we can't get any higher. But if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Taking your time and I sure don't mind. But every inch of my body's getting wild, wild, wild. The way that you move is like a love machine. Come be my king and I'll be your queen. I'm running so hot, I need to cool me down. I'm flying so high, I don't see the ground. I'm running so hot, I need to cool me down. I'm flying so high, I don't see the ground.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Wednesday. It is April 6, 2021, and it is Wednesday, which means it is Solidarity Wednesdays. Every Wednesday here at the Benjamin. How many times am I going to say Wednesday this morning? I want to bring to the screen right now Nomiki Konst from Solidarity Wednesdays. Every single week at this time, we get a chance to sit down and talk about what's happening in the world, not just internationally, but domestically. Nomiki, thank you so much for hanging out and waiting for me. I had technical difficulties on my own personal end this morning. That's why we're late. But good morning to you.
Good morning. And I do need that reminder of the day of the week because this is a chaotic world that we live in. So if you want to come in several times a day and tell me what day of the week it is, that would be great. Because
I actually could use that myself.
Have you ever had that where it's like Monday and you're like, is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Nope, it's Monday.
Yeah, you know, and then all the years. I'm at the stage of the pandemic where now the years are starting to run together. So every now and then I need someone to what year it is. But I want to begin, and I lost the microphone really quickly. I want to begin, as we always do, with a moment in Black history. So, hey, Google, what happened today in Black history?
On April 6, 1927, Mildred Fay Jefferson was born in Pittsburgh, Texas. Mildred became the first woman to complete a surgical internship at Boston City Hospital, the first Black woman to graduate Harvard Medical School, and the first woman doctor at Boston University Medical Center. In 1972, she earned her board certification in surgery, going on to become the first woman member of the Boston Surgical Society. Adapted from Black Heritage Day calendar by author, lecturer and civil rights activist Dr. Karl Mack.
Dr. Carl Mack is not with us today. He is working on the next iteration of this calendar, which is the Black Women's Calendar, 366 days of Black women who have contributed to American history. But as always, we want to begin setting our show with Black history. Miki, some Black history that's happening right now, world history, American history for sure. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is headed for confirmation. This is according to the AP. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is expected to be confirmed as the first Black woman Supreme Court justice after a bipartisan group of senators voted on Monday to advance her nomination. After the Senate Judiciary Committee voted 11-11, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called for a vote to break the deadlock. Miki, we covered this yesterday, and I know you've been talking about it. The Republican Party, as it pertains to Ketanji Brown Jackson, they've shown that they really have no ground to stand on opposing her, yet they opposed her anyway. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, they are pulling back the curtain. Like, I'm not giving them any excuses, but they used to speak in like gentleman's code, whatever that thing is that they do that I'm not familiar with because I live in New York and we just don't play that game here. But they used to do that thing. They're not anymore. I mean, the things that they say on the record nowadays, knowing that they're going to lose this vote is like, what's your game here? Like, if this is I don't even understand what their goals are. They're just blatantly out there, racist, sexist, showing all their cards. And for what? What? They're not going to win this.
Exactly. They're putting themselves on the record. I think it's more important for them. This is the thing that I think is worth expounding on. They have no shame. They have no regard for how the future will regard them. And Republicans are only concerned with the very present, like the immediate gratification of winning a political argument or even just grandstanding for their audience. Right? Because like you said, there's no win here for Republicans, yet they still didn't mind putting all of their bigotry on display. And just to juxtapose it to one more thing, when you think about Kavanaugh, when you think about Amy Coney Barrett in terms of their Senate judiciary hearings, you really see the caliber of difference in the character as well as the intensity of the examination from the Republicans. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We live in this world now where obviously Republicans and Democrats too are operating from a how are we going to win the next election mindset. The Senate is obviously a little bit more forward thinking. They have a little bit more time, but these institutions and the media world that we live in today, the TikTok news cycle, the Twitter just owning our lives, it's basically taken over our way of being. And it used to be that these are the types of moments when you have a Supreme Court justice where you put all that stuff aside and you focus on the next generation. And that's not really happening right now. And exactly. I mean, Amy Coney Barrett is like a flashback to 1952 and they know that too. But they're trying to win the next election. I don't even think this is about Republicans having the Supreme Court. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about this and this is probably unpopular, but I don't even actually think it's about abortion with her or was about abortion with her. I think it's about elections. I really think that they owe it to some donors. And, but if you were to go internally, how many Republicans, even Republicans voters, how many Republicans really vote on abortion? I don't think in today's Republican Party, it's the number that we think. I think Republicans are more like Elon Musk followers than they are Amy Coney Barrett followers today.
That's right.
I could be wrong.
No, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. While Republicans are really good at pretending as though they care about children, as though they care about life, and they're really good at around election times, peddling that idea. But the truth of the matter is we know that they are not the party of life whatsoever. One little bit of more of Black history, Black future history. Christian Smalls, you and I both have interviewed him and spoken with him several times, and we've been watching this Amazon labor union. Before we move on to the next story, I just wanted to get a chance to talk to you about it. What are your thoughts about the very first Amazon union being formed by someone we know and we've interviewed, Christian Smalls?
I mean, this is such a huge story. There's no way. I mean, it's such a big story that when we say it's a big story, we have to just keep saying, no, this is a big story. This is a big story. Because I think the left is so used to losing and being beaten up by big corporations and big capital, and seeing the money that Amazon put behind not only fighting this union effort off, but really character assassinating Christian Smalls. I mean, he started off getting fired because he wanted to protect his life. And I mean, this is such a classic story of unionization. This is a guy who during the pandemic was like, you're putting me at risk. He didn't have protection for himself, and his colleagues didn't have protection. And then through that, it's unveiled that they are saying the most disgusting things in writing about him.
That's right.
And then, of course, they fired him. And then through that, he's organizing. This is such a beautiful story of what it means to be a labor organizer today. This isn't, the Starbucks stories are amazing too, but there's a difference here. I think what was so shocking about Starbucks is that Starbucks puts himself out there as being like a more, I guess like a better social. They offer healthcare. They have a minimum wage that's higher. They're like, well, what's wrong with us? And that's true. But the great thing about Starbucks is you have a lot of young people who are like, no, we need more. We need more. But Amazon is like, it's like straight back to 1922. When you start to read about what they're doing to people, you're like, I'm sorry, what? What are we in the jungle here? What are you like? That's right. I feel like we were reading about factories in the 20s when you read. So to see that Christian Smalls, who also decided to not go with establishment unions, to start their own union, failed the first time, kept going, even after Amazon hired, the big guns and we're talking about the big guns. They hired a major Democratic consulting firm. Like Kathy Hochul and Hillary Clinton has used, and Chuck Schumer, all the major establishment has used, and they couldn't get it done. So I think this is amazing. I think it's a great model. I think I can't wait to see where Chris Smalls goes, because I both know he's also just dope. He's like a cool guy. Yeah. No, he's a dope guy. And I'm looking forward to speaking with him again in solidarity with all the Amazon workers. You mentioned Starbucks. I want to go right to the Starbucks union efforts. The CEO, Schultz, is back. You don't hear a lot from him, but he speaks out when it's something important to him. And we have a clip. This is what he's saying in a town hall meeting on Monday. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz just told workers that Starbucks is, quote, being assaulted in many ways by the threat of unionization. Let's take a listen in to the Starbucks CEO.
Now, here's where it gets a little sensitive, because I've been coached a little bit, but I do want to talk about something pretty serious. We can't ignore what is happening in the country as it relates to companies throughout the country being assaulted in many ways by the threat of unionization.
I'm not even going to set it up. No, Miki.
Oh, poor companies, poor CEOs. They're just going through such torture right now.
Such a hard time.
The economy's a mess. And oh my God, like the gas prices are so high that maybe you're going to have to pay a little bit more for their private jet to get to Barbados. Climate change is really, are you kidding me? Come on now. Like this is...
He's really looking for sympathy. Right? I know corporations are people, according to Mitt Romney and Citizens United, but are we really supposed to feel empathy for corporations that make billions of dollars and leave workers out to dry? And then the second thing, Nomiki, is the threat of unionization. That phrase right there should tell you everything you need to know about how CEOs, executives, and corporations view labor. They view 100%. Your organizing as a threat.
I posted something the other day on Instagram and social media. I ran for office a few years ago, and we had it was a special election, and in New York, when you have a special election, a citywide special election, you have to come up with your own party name. It's a very weird system. And I ran on 3 issues. Number 1, raising the minimum wage to $30 an hour in New York. Number 2, rent control, taking on major developers in New York who are getting massive subsidies for tax subsidies. And tax breaks to sell property, and then they're selling it off to oligarchs, and free transportation. Okay, so those 3 things I thought were very instrumental into shifting the way New Yorkers would live. So I saw something. People said $30 an hour. Are you crazy? All these small businesses are going to go out of business. And I said, well, we put in protections for small businesses in our plan, but I can't believe the people who are in my comments being like, you're going to ruin businesses in America. What are you going to do? They're going to crash if you raise the wages. And I said, hang on a second. Did you see the second part here about taxing the real estate developers and about rent control? Because the reason why my coffee, I have a coffee shop in my building in Astoria. I don't even live in Manhattan. My coffee that I'm drinking this morning, guess how much this iced coffee was?
I don't want to ask. $7 at least.
Good job. $7.60. $7.60 for an iced coffee. And so people say, it's because of the wages. No. It is because of the rent. So, this is by design. They want to blame the workers. They've permeated people's brains into thinking that when you pay fair wages, something that has not been, when the last time they raised wages was in this country. I mean, if you're never going to raise wages, we're not going to be able to afford to pay the $7.50 coffee. It's because of the rent. Who are we kidding? And the fact that they can still, he talks about unions like it's this new concept that showed up, like aliens showed up last night. And it's like people in America, even though they've been under attack, they know what unions are.
That's right.
It's us.
That's right. Right. I think he's been living in such a fantasy world that the CEOs of America and the oligarchs of the world get to live in, that he forgets that there are normal people who do not like extremely wealthy corporations that put their workers at risk. There are so many people who work in these organizations, and the elite are so disconnected that he actually thought that what he said was going to be okay. Right. But it's very clear, if ever there was a time to unionize and this was at a partners, they like to call baristas their partners. Ask them how much of the profit you're getting every quarter if you're really a partner. But I digress. This was at a partners meeting, which should tell every single barista that has ever worked or will work for Starbucks that they need to unionize immediately. So we're going to keep our eye on story as it develops and with all the unionizing efforts. I want to go to 2 more stories, Nomiki, while I still have you. Oklahoma has passed a total ban on abortions. Oklahoma passes a total ban law limiting options for Texans. Here's a clip from KHOU 11 breaking it down for us.
And more breaking news that could have a big impact on Texas women. The state legislature in Oklahoma passing a law today that makes performing an abortion in that state a felony. It would be punishable by up to 10 years in prison. The Oklahoma governor is expected to sign the bill into law, and it would go into effect this summer.
Once in place, the law would have major regional impacts. More Texans have gone to Oklahoma to get abortions since the new Texas law went into effect last September. The law here bans abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Planned Parenthood's abortion clinic in Oklahoma says it was seeing an 800% increase in the number of women from Texas.
Nomiki, I want you to do what you do here, but I feel like this is obviously setting this up to be sent to the Supreme Court. There's so many of these instances of laws that are clearly on the face of it unconstitutional based on Roe versus Wade. So they're trying to find some way to overturn that precedent. But I want you to take it. What are your thoughts about this?
No, that was my immediate thought was they're just ready to take them all the way up so that they can just snip away at a woman's right to choose, a woman's autonomy. It's telling that they said in that local news report, and let's not forget most local news in this country has a right-wing spin. So the fact that they were willing to say, this is in reaction to so many more visits because of Texas, just says a lot right there. I don't want to just step away from the horror of this bill, but I do kind of want to remind folks that the Democratic Party, if we actually existed in many parts of this country, if the Democratic Party actually invested in the party the way that we did maybe 10, 15 years ago, and before, when we actually held the House in the 80s, like people say this country is so conservative. Well, we held the House for about 30 years until we stopped investing in parties. So, if we actually put money, all that money that you're giving, donors are giving to the DNC, if we actually put them into parties, maybe we could win some of these legislatures back so we didn't have these bills. I mean, I'm going to leave it there because people say, like, what's happening to this country is becoming more conservative. No, it's not. We just decided to not show up and play ball. And when you don't show up and play ball, this is what they do. This is what they do.
Yeah, this is not to. I like the show Handmaid's Tale, but I also don't like it because it felt, by season 4, it felt so, or 3 rather, right. It felt so contrived to me. But now I'm like, if that show wasn't the most prescient show of this century, I mean, because it really feels like the Republican Party, it has no qualms, there's no hesitation, no reservation at all about overturning anything and everything they can to usher in that kind of society. What do you think? I know we got to get out of here, but
no, you're right. I mean, they want to eliminate. You're right. There's no other way of saying it. I think I've been thinking a lot about this lately. Steve Bannon, we talk about this all the time. Steve Bannon spends a lot of time on like the mythology and of manhood and like how to permeate the mindset of voters so that they vote for a conservative agenda. How to get certain folks to continue for generations to vote conservatively. And part of that is preventing certain people to be in office, because the second you start to, those people make decisions, if they're more comfortable, the next generation is not, it's not foreign for them to think about laws from the perspective of a Ketanji Brown Jackson or a Hillary Clinton even, So I think we have to start thinking that way too. It's not just about one bill here, one bill there, one bill there. They're thinking like, how do we make it so that men don't see women in power? And what do they get with that? So I'll leave it there.
I'm coming to hang out with you later on. Tell everyone how they can catch you and us later.
Check us out tonight, 8 p.m. live on Twitch and YouTube at The Nomiki Show. Just put it in there, NOMIKI show. And Ben's going to be joining us. We're going to have, we were supposed to do this last week, but I got sick. Great panel of women who are running for office, Black women running for office. It's going to be exceptional. Go check it out. You can see who to support. Speaking of women in power, that's where you're going to go.
Absolutely. Nomiki Konst of The Nomiki Show. Thank you so much. It is always a pleasure to have you on Wednesday. Solidarity Wednesdays. We'll see you next time.
I love that. Thanks.
More of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show coming up after this. DJ exclusive. It's in your hands.
Oh, push me through the fire. All I'm gonna feel is the heat burning underneath of my feet. Ooh,
good morning, people. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know the voice. Y'all know the sound. It's your boy James Williams, DJ exclusive in the building. Can y'all hear me okay? Because it sounds so low on my end. Good morning, y'all.
Every time I dream, I catch it. I know how to make it happen. But I want more.
There we go. Now I can hear myself better. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mama, Dad. I see y'all in the chat room. Good morning to y'all.
All I need is more. All I need is more. All I need is all I need is all I need is more. All I need is all I need. All I need is more. One more hour, one more minute, one more chance for me to win.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Boondocks. Good morning. Greg Hunt, Esther Rosen, Keith Johnson, Jesse. Good morning, Environmental Coffee House. Good morning. Shade Dragon, Cat Gibbons. Good morning. I appreciate you. Brother Lateef, what's going on? Alicia, good morning. The Big Piece, good morning. Brown, good morning. Yeah, David, I just saw I dropped my music some. Jason Marks, good morning to you. Tiger, good morning.
Sticks and stones.
Shout out Six Dragon Daddy. What's going on, sir? Good morning to you.
But your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me.
Melanie Dennis, good morning.
No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no. I know it's hard to be polite, and it's easy being petty. My mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you ready. Man, it's crazy how my brother said.
Anna Loom, good morning to you, Anna.
That's when everybody tell me, man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down, though I still might fall. Oh yeah, now I done came through, knocking pictures off your walls. Loving people who persecute you, it's still a tough life. On my path and the limp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel that disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong.
KFC, what's going on, sir?
No, it just can't hurt me.
Ross Banana, good morning.
No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. See, it's hard to be polite. It's easy being petty. Mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you're ready. Cause I ain't working on my
Infinite Content, good morning to you. Anna Lou. Alicia. Hey, Alicia.
Stop all the hate right now. Let's keep
Ross Banana, good to see you too.
So be a light up on my path and a lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me.
So, the way I asked my wife if I was the only one she'd been with, she said yes. All the others had been 9s and 10s. Ain't that messed up? Damn.
It was just a misunderstanding. You waited in the rain for hours, and I couldn't say the right things. No, I checked your number twice, then I went home. But I wanna let you know that, yeah, everything.
And what's funny, I haven't spoken to my wife in 7 years. I don't want to interrupt her. How you say that to somebody? That's so rude.
You don't understand. You don't need to worry.
Hey, you stupid.
Everything I said, you don't have to search no more. Love is all around, so baby, what's your hurry?
Laura Estrada, good morning, Laura. Miss Sophia, good morning. Carmen, good morning to you. Creative Impact, good morning. Tyra G, Dope Nut of the Dragon family, good morning. Dope Nut is terrible. All right, man. Snack Panther, good morning. Brother Tyler, good morning to you.
Now I'm including you in my whole world. With you, I'm so
No, I haven't. It ain't even been bruised yet.
you tear down every wall that I built up.
This is manifesting. Good morning. Kiki, good morning to you, Kiki.
About you makes me smile. I wanna be your best friend, your best friend.
You see how you, damn, man, this Wawa. Y'all know what? I ain't playing nothing else until y'all let me go get my coffee. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Everything I said, you don't have to search no more.
I'm pouting.
Love is all around, so baby, what's your hurry? You don't
right, y'all. All right, so y'all know what time it is. It's time for Big Headed Ben to get back on the screen because he ain't let me go get my coffee. He is holding me. I need help. Somebody help me, please. Ben is a terrible boss. All right, y'all. It is time for On the Clock with Georgia Ford. Good morning, everybody. Dwayne, roll that intro. Dang.
Welcome back to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. We're on the clock. Georgia Ford will be joining us momentarily. DJ Exclusive, please let me release you so you can go take care of all your morning festivities that you have to. I can't stand you, man. CEO, man, I'm glad you're feeling better, man. Glad to have you back this morning. How you doing?
I'm good, man. And I think my wisdom tooth is coming in. I'm just like, damn, first I hurt my neck. Now my wisdom tooth want to come in. You know what? I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. But
man,
everybody say that. Y'all go to hell. You're never too old. My sister about to get us too.
I wasn't going to comment about that, Dwayne, but I was going to say wisdom teeth are like getting them pulled out is one of the things I will never forget. They had to saw my tooth in half, my wisdom tooth in half, in order to get it out. So I'm praying for you, man. Bro.
Thanks. Now I'm just gonna.
But I'm sure it's not. I'm sure you won't have to get yours removed. I'm sure you're not going to have to get yours removed, man.
Like, did you have that pain like right here behind your ear? Is like going down to your neck?
Yeah, mine was so bad. Listen, this was back at the time. This is because, healthcare is hard to have in this country. This is before I had healthcare. It was so bad. I was punching myself in the face to make it go away, to make it feel better. And then I went and got all the work done that I needed to get done. But wisdom teeth and tooth aches. Anybody in the comment section who knows anything about it, they already know what you're going through, man. So hope you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you.
With your grown-ass wisdom teeth. Anyway.
That's all right.
Let's bring Georgia.
Well, I don't nobody like it, but somebody like it.
Good morning. Good morning to Georgia Ford. DJ Exclusive, go get your coffee, man. Get off.
Good morning, Georgia.
You do not want to hear my wisdom tooth story. Whew.
Oh, Lord.
God.
That was bad.
Was it worse than them? They literally had to saw mine in half, and like it was. Oh my goodness! Thank God for Percocet that week, because that was a real painful experience. What was yours?
Listen, I broke my foot when I was in high school playing basketball, and they tried to give me Percocet and all those different painkillers, and I refused to take them. But now when they pulled my wisdom teeth, that was a whole nother story. I was coming back for refills. I was out of it.
I went back for a refill.
Over here, it's just like.
No, but we're not trying to scare you. We're just letting you know that, there's medications and procedures to make sure that, but you have some time. If they're just coming in, it'll be a couple of years before they actually hurt you. But yes, Georgia, I went back to refill. I went back to refill my Percocet after my wisdom tooth experience. And the doctor was like, well, I could refill it for you the second time, but I'm pretty sure you'll be addicted to opiates after that. So I was like, okay, I just had to take the last 3 weeks of pain I had to take by myself. It really hurt for a whole six weeks after that surgery. So, James.
Y'all are not making me feel good. Hallelujah, Jesus.
Georgia, how you doing? James, go get your coffee, man. We'll see you in a few minutes, man. Georgia. Sorry about that, bro. I'm not trying to scare you, James.
Well.
There's so much. Well. There's so much happening around the country. And one of the best things about our partnership here is that it's an unfortunate benefit, but you are centered in an area of the country where so much is happening all of the time. Just tell us what's going on now. What's happening in that side of the world? I know that there's been teacher strikes. I know that there's been protests. What is going on in the world of Minneapolis and Minnesota and that region right now?
Well, the weird thing, Ben, is it has been oddly calm, which is good. And I think that this community truly needs that because of all of the things that have happened over the last 2 years. Folks are ramping up for the 1-year anniversary of Daunte Wright in order to honor him and celebrate his family. There's quite a few events that are planned for this weekend. But outside of that, we've been following a story. There was a lot of community response to the requests by an Indigenous woman that were denied. An Indigenous woman who is currently incarcerated was seeking medical attention, and her request for medical attention has been denied. And so there was a lot of rallying that was happening around this woman. Her name is Shakoya Brasswood. And unfortunately, I think there's a portion of the population that can only focus on why she's in jail and cannot then in turn humanize her and see why she deserves to have adequate medical attention. She currently has a bullet lodged in her spine, and she needs to have it surgically removed. However, her requests for that surgery to happen have been declined. She actually had it scheduled, but she was detained before the surgery and was asking if she could be released specifically for the surgery, and even those requests were declined. I want you guys to take a listen to this video. Nadia Sharawi, who I work with a lot, actually had the chance to drive. Their family lives like 3 or 4 hours away from us. So she drove to meet with Shakoya's sister. This is an interview with her sister and also a phone call from Shakoya while she's behind bars. Take a listen.
This call is from an inmate at a correctional facility and may be recorded or monitored.
The cop panicked. I think he panicked when he saw my gun and kind of just went off, and he tripped while he was shooting at me. So I'm guessing he would have finished his rounds if he didn't trip.
Shania Bassett, or tribal member. I'm 22 years old. Shakoya is my sister, my little sister, for like 2 years. They went on a high-speed chase, and Shakoya was in the back seat with 2 other of her friends, and they started racing around, but then the cops started like bumping into the back of their car, trying to get them to stop, or like bumping into their bumper to get them to stop, and they just kept ramming into them. The cop lost them for a little bit and then found them again, and then they ended up in Nadawash going around a turn, and that's the cop ended up putting the car into the ditch.
Told us to get out of the car, put our hands on the car, and I had a Glock in my armpit and an extended clip in my other armpit, and it was really big. So he said, "Put your hands on the car," and it was gonna fall out. So I grabbed it out, put the clip in, but he heard that. He turned around, saw he had a gun, and just started shooting me. And then he tripped. The second shot. Fell backward. They shot at me 7 times. I guaranteed he would have shot more if he didn't trip.
30 minutes after the ambulance got there and brought her to the hospital here in Monoman, then life flighted her to Fargo. I had to call like 2 in the morning, and I couldn't believe it. So I was like, what?
I still have this bullet in my back. I don't know when I'm gonna get it out. They don't have a nurse here that's full-time. The nurse that shows up is part-time, and she comes in when she can.
Alright, well, I'll talk to you later. Text me.
Alright.
Love you. Yeah, I'm trying to fundraise for my sister. We need money for a lawyer and her medical bills. I'm trying to raise at least $20,000 for all of this in her situation. I have hope that we'll get, and faith that we'll raise the money for her and that she gets justice.
And so the odd thing too is Shakoya was moved to another jail facility without even her family's understanding, knowing. They weren't alerted to this, and so now she's even further away. But when I shared this story, there was a lot of people in the comment section, arguing whether Shakoya is innocent or not. And, she had court yesterday. She's going through the legal proceedings. She, is hoping to get legal representation to fight whatever charge she has. That is a whole separate issue, right? That's a whole separate conversation. The issue we are trying to point out is that you have a woman who needs a critical surgery, who had it scheduled, and the jail refused to allow her to attend her surgery, which could cost her her life. And when we look at situations like Hardell Sherrill, who died in jail, when you look at Kelsey Rayner, who died in jail, there is a critical issue here. Just because you are charged or convicted, if you're incarcerated, does not mean you're not a human being who does not deserve adequate medical attention. That is the issue here that people need to see. That you have a woman, a 20-year-old woman, who has requested medical attention and her requests have been denied. That's a problem.
That's a serious problem, Georgia, especially for those of us who understand what this carceral state actually is. The only thing inmates have traditionally been provided with on a reasonable basis is health care. Like, it's sad, but some people get better health care in prisons than they do out of prisons, right? And so for them to refuse this from her, to me, has to be rooted in the fact that this involved a police shooting. This is just my opinion. This is just my take, because I don't know of many other circumstances, unless you're Black. You already listed a couple where they intentionally do these things to Black people. But I'm looking at this situation. I'm like, it's a surgery. And if she dies as a result of not having this surgery, there's even more culpability. So why would they put themselves in this harm's way? And it's because the cruelty is the point. When you have, especially when you have an encounter with the police, the cruelty is the point.
Absolutely. Well, we will continue to follow the story. Ben, there was a huge community response when people learned about Shakoya's story and a demand at that jail for there to be some type of medical attention given to her. So we'll continue to follow it. Yeah. Hopefully she gets the medical attention she deserves. But, when you are arrested, number one, it doesn't mean that you're guilty. Right. And even if you are guilty, it doesn't mean you're not human.
That's right.
If you're incarcerated, it is the state's responsibility to provide any adequate medical attention you may need while you're incarcerated. That is their responsibility. That is the oath that they take when they say that they're going to protect and serve.
That's right.
And what we see continuously is a pattern that once folks are in that system, they don't care. They turn a blind eye. They intentionally deny people the medical attention that they need. And it's sad. And on top of it, these institutions, these systems, some of them are private, make billions of dollars from taxpayer dollars. And what they're doing with it in this case, they're not allowing this individual to get their surgery. I just one last thing, Georgia, before we go to the next story. The powerful can get away with whatever they can get us to excuse away on their behalf. And when you mentioned this story at the beginning, you were talking about how people in the comment section were like, oh, well, she's in jail. Oh, she did this. And this was why she was there. And that became a justification for her cruel and unusual punishment now that she is in jail. And I just want to remind folks, the more the powerful can get you to say, oh, well, I don't have to worry about that because they did this, they did that. That brings us one step closer to all of our rights being infringed upon. A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Yeah. And to double down on that thought, Ben, if there are circumstances that allow you to not see a person's humanity, does that say more about the system or does that say more about you as an individual? And so I think people need to really think about that as, they're looking at stories like this and they're so quick to say, oh, well, that person deserved it.
Right.
You know, we're not talking about a serial killer. We're not talking about a person who has caused harm to children. We're talking about a 20-year-old woman. And so when you talk about people who, you know, commit crimes, even the way that they tried to vilify George Floyd, you know, or I mentioned Dante Wright, they try to vilify him, criminalize them, right? Yep. And so if you have done something that is wrong, we've created a system that we have put our faith in as a society to be the place where people can go and course correct, right?
That's right.
So let people go do their time, but do not strip them of their humanity in the process.
That's it.
And that's the part for me where it's like the criminalization and the dehumanization of individuals who are in trouble or who have made a bad choice. That's the part for me where it gets tough, you know, it's hard for me to respect people who criminalize, especially people of color. They're quick to do that. They're quick to dehumanize us and say that, oh, well, you deserve this. And no, it's inhumane.
That's right. It's inhumane. Absolutely, Georgia. I hate to triple down on that, but okay, let me move on, because that what you're talking about right there strikes at the core of so many stories, whether we're talking about Russia's invasion or Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, all the way down to this story. It is a statement of, if we can turn a blind eye to someone else's suffering, what does that say about us? It might say that we work for Fox News. Talk about a segue. Well, according to Fox News, a study shows that Fox viewers, they change their mind after 30 days of detox. After 30 days of watching Fox News and instead watching something like CNN, their opinions about critical issues have changed. I want to read this from CNN. Fox News viewers who were paid to watch CNN for 30 days eventually became more skeptical and less likely to buy into fake news, according to a new study. The study, titled "The Manifold Effects of Partisan Media on Viewers, Beliefs and Attitudes," of 763 participants, when they were randomized 40% into a treatment group to change the slant of their media diet. They offered treatment to participants $15 an hour to watch 7 hours of CNN per week during September of 2020, prioritizing the hours which participants indicated they typically watch Fox News. Here's the good part, the interesting part. Despite regular Fox viewers being largely strong partisans, the study found that the changing of their media diets on their factual beliefs, attitudes, perceptions, and issues of importance and overall political views changed. This is according to the authors of the study. So as soon 30 days after unplugging from Fox News, and in this case, plugging into CNN, their views about critical issues, including COVID-19 and the war in Russia, the war in Ukraine, those issues started to change.
Wow. Why am I not surprised? You know, we talk often here on this show, and just even in conversations that we have behind the scenes, about the power of media, the influence of media, how much media is responsible for the conditions of our nation right now. And some people put a lot of stock in that and they agree. And others, you know, they think that we are where we are for other reasons. But media is a central figure of our society. It has played a central role in conditioning the minds of Americans. And Fox News specifically, I've talked a lot about their branding and their positioning, and how at some point, it even seems like the FCC should be able to step in and say, this is false advertisement.
That's right.
You're not news. This is entertainment. There's been a lot of, clarity behind the scenes with their company that they're entertainment, not news. So why is it not called Fox Entertainment then? We don't have TMZ going around claiming to be news, because it's entertainment gossip.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
So why has the checks and balances, which is the FCC in this case, allowed them to position themselves in a way and manipulate a huge portion of the population to believe their rhetoric, to believe their lies, to believe their hatred. And now we're seeing that manifest in January 6th. We're seeing it manifest at school board meetings when you have all these people who are, protesting CRT being implemented in their schools. We're seeing the manifestation of their ideologies and their rhetoric in our real lives.
That's
so
right.
when will there be an intervention? If you have studies like this that can now prove it, and it's not just a claim by people like me who are accused of being on the left or being a Democrat or all of the things that someone who watches Fox News would say about people like us to try to defend their positioning. Now we have research, we have a study that shows how manipulative Fox News is.
Right. And I want to make a minor correction here. I said include the war in Ukraine. It did not include the war in Ukraine, but what it did include was questions on COVID and Donald Trump. On COVID, and this is again from the reporting, on COVID, viewers who switch were 6 percentage points more likely to believe other countries handle the virus better than the U.S., 5 points more likely to believe that people suffer from what's known as long COVID, that people simply suffer from long COVID. And then 11 points less likely to say a president should focus on containing violent protests than the pandemic. One last point that changed. These are all their opinions that changed after just 30 days of not being watching Fox News. They found large effect of watching CNN instead of Fox News on participants' factual perceptions of current events, meaning their beliefs of current events and knowledge about the 2020 presidential candidates' positions. The researchers said they discovered changes in attitudes about Donald Trump and Republicans, as well as large effects on their opinions about COVID. So, yes, Georgia, in fact, every person who is watching Fox News is watching an entertainment network that is telling them that they are viewing factual, fair, and balanced information. And as soon as they are unplugged from that machine, they start going back to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah. And think about what that does also to like somebody's political beliefs when you have a whole network that is backing an individual, regardless of whether or not they're qualified or have the country's best interest at mind. But oftentimes, likely they're just spending money with that network, right? And so you start to get into this really scary place where you have, it feels hypnotic. It feels in some ways when you think about what Fox News is doing, it's hypnotizing people. It's pulling people into this fake world and manipulating people, deceiving them. And we've seen folks actually take action based on the belief system and the values that are perpetuated on that network. So if we have fact-based evidence and research that shows what this network is doing and the harm it's causing, what are we going to do about it? What is the FCC going to do about it? At what point is there an intervention? And it brings me back to also like just the basics of integrity and honesty as moral principles that we value in our society. And while maybe it's not illegal to lie on TV, while maybe it doesn't specifically violate a policy of the FCC, if we don't ethically as a society figure out a way to put some roadblocks in place, I mean, even locally, there was 1,300 ethics complaints filed against the mayor in Minneapolis for lying about the Amir Locke case, right? And the mishandling of that. But those ethics complaints were dismissed. And so to me, it's like, even when we have the evidence that there has been wrongdoing, there has been lies, dishonesty, we don't have a system that has the integrity to intervene and course correct. So we're allowing for dishonest leadership to lead our cities, our states, our countries. That's really dangerous. I mean, honesty and, you know, being truthful is like the bare minimum requirement for good leadership. And so we've opened ourselves up as a nation by not having checks and balances in place to root out bad actors.
That's right. And not only can we not root out bad actors, Georgia, it seems like the more bad of an actor you are willing to be in this country, the further you can go. Donald Trump, for example, like there's just a list of people who not only fail up, but their integrity is lacking, but that seems to be their pathway to success. So Fox News is certainly one of those. And you're right. Our entire society is really hanging on the precipice, ready to fall over into the abyss because of an entertainment network that has more views than all the other news networks damn near combined. And that's why I think we're in the situation, so many of the situations that we're in. Georgia, listen, I always appreciate spending the time with you. Thank you so much for the reporting that you do. Tell everyone, I know you're here all the time, but before we go, I just want you to tell everyone specifically, how can they continue to support your efforts? Because the only way we're going to actually beat back against these propaganda machines like Fox News is if we have independent media like Georgia Ford. Please tell the people how they can support your media company.
Absolutely. Well, people can support by waking up every day with the Benjamin Dixon Show, continuing to do that as support. And then if you want to follow my work, you can head over to my website, georgiafort.com. All of my social media links are there. Share the work, watch the work, comment, engage with it, and tell a friend to follow along as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Georgia Fort, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, like it or not, it's getting ready to go down. The Benjamin Dixon Morning Show will be back right after this.
I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'm a ride.
All right, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. We got more coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. You don't want to miss it. Like it or not, it's going down. Coming up next. Stay tuned. Good morning, everybody.
I never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, do that I survived, doing 80 to the house, then I hit her to the sky, changed haters on a tirade. Talking to the crib in the face, be still, let that hit stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bib, take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grip, but it don't make sense, cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house.
That was so terrible. I swallowed me because it was horrible. Oh, God.
With the slap in myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we know that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flats. Bill couldn't see me making moves.
Y'all stay tuned.
Still on the grind, limit time when I chat. Burn it down, sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love. That's just how I'm made.
From the glass in the mirror. Yeah. Do it at me, old man, trying to pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that. And he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no breaks.
All right, real quick, y'all, let's go ahead and get our new Twitch subscribers and Patreon members read off here. So here we go. How do we get some more light up?
Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that
Bailey Lyle, good to see you as well. Good morning to you.
Bang on the set list, going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on
Il Hustler, good morning. Il Hustler.
Reckless gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace.
The internet got me looking like I'm in some kind of stop motion animation or something. All right, y'all. New Twitch subscribers. Let's get our new Patreon members first. New Patreon members. We have John S. Esther B, good morning, Esther B. Doubled their pledge. S. Gaynor, Thompson L, Eli N, and the Emo Dragon. New Patreon members, we appreciate y'all. New Twitch subscribers. I like this. Let me get my song. New Twitch subscribers, we have Ho Dizzy, who subscribed for 6 months. Welcome, Ho Dizzy. Kluma90017 resubscribed and commented, coming through back here for the culture. We appreciate you, and they've been subscribed for 6 months. Jam Tune gifted a subscription to Sammy Lynn the Kind Dragon. Chicken Fried Dragon, what's up, Chicken Fried? Gifted subscriptions to Australian LB and fellow streamers Blee Blom Ben, $27. Again, that was Australian LB, fellow streamers Bleak Blum Ben, $27, and Waxing Philosophical. Dr. B Win rated our channel with a party of 5 viewers, and Carpe Pax rated our channel with a party of 32 viewers. Okay, Carpe, I see how your friends come on through. Welcome. Anyway, y'all, if you want to, patreon.com/psychedonot, patreon.com/the BPD show, increase your pledge. Join if you have not. Come on, get this access to these patron parties. Bubba's Bangers Volume 1 is coming soon, so the only way that you get that is by becoming a patron member. So, stay tuned. You don't want to miss it, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Stay tuned. Like it or not, it's about to go down. B, good morning to you, B.
Come a little bit closer. Yeah, I can really start over. Yeah. In the back of my mind, there's someone waiting on me. You're just wasting my time because you're scared and lonely. Finally got some closure. Yeah, I can finally start over. Yeah. So all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right.
Just Hearts NY City, good morning to you as well.
Bye-bye, I'm too fly. I'm too fly. Bye-bye. 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 Here's to the memories. Cheers to what used to be.
All right, y'all know what time it is. Like it or not, it's about to go down. Yeah. Y'all know what time it is. Good morning, y'all. Get your coffee and tea. Well, I sound like I was so stuffy when I recorded it. You knew it's time for Like It or Not, y'all. 9 a.m. to 10:30, yeah. Like It or Not is on your channel, yeah. Politics and culture, it's free chain scan like we're supposed to, yeah. Interviews and all the news, we get to choose what gets the views. Like It or Not with Queen Azor, it's starting now, so stick around. Like it or not, it's gone. 1ATL Country Boy, good morning. Priscilla, good morning to you. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, Rebecca. Elizabeth Lonza, good morning. It's coming through. Malia, good morning to you, Malia. Good story for you. Everything I tell y'all, the weirdest summer job, I can't even say it right. The weirdest summer job I have ever had was cleaning the monkey cages at the local zoo. Man, that shit was bananas. He's a politics bro. I am your DJ. DJ exclusive. Latino, good morning to you. I am. I stay dropping them jams. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or not, it's starting. Why is a stuck elevator better than a bad relationship? Like it or not, it's never gonna let you down. To go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, people.
Good morning, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we are free to tell the truth.
Not care who doesn't like it.
What you laughing at this time? What's good, buddy?
Yo, big head ass.
It is Wednesday, April 6, 2022. Welcome to the morning show. Rebecca Azor will be joining us momentarily. We are here with DJ exclusives on the 1 and 2s. What does that even mean? The 1 and 2 mixers? Is that what that means? 1 and 2s? I always say it, but I never really just sat down and 1s and 2s on the mixers. Turntables.
Yeah, turntables labeled 1 and 2. I mean, these days it's just like it's A and B because they're not really turntables. They're like decks, right. I guess. So It's like, yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering, like, what do the 1s and 2s mean in 2022 when a lot of people aren't using turntables anymore? But I guess you're right. They're decks. They're like digital decks that y'all use.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it still means about the same thing, but yeah, I'm just glad I was never in that era where I had to carry around this big ass 2 turntables, these crates, bro. Oh my god,
crates.
I saw one dude, like I had my hands in doing serving and catering stuff, and I remember I was doing an event, and the guy pulled up that was DJing for the wedding. And he had CDs. When I tell you this man had a whole damn dolly of CDs, bro, I'm just like, dude, that's like 500 CDs. You carry these around with you? No, hell no.
I think for aesthetic value, if I was a DJ, I'd carry around like maybe a Marvin Gaye record, actual LP record, like actual wax, and stuff that like stands out. Al Green, some stuff like that. But everything else, James, I'm putting on a digital deck. I'm not carrying around 500. Yeah. Anyway, good morning to you, Rebecca Zor will be joining us. I want to jump into a story that we started yesterday, and it is about Elon Musk. Elon Musk has bought, I believe, a share of 7%. It was 9% of Twitter, and yesterday, when we talked about it, we hadn't got the second part of the news, which is now that Musk is on director, Twitter, which means that he's far more powerful than just a shareholder, because there are thousands of shareholders in Twitter. He's now sitting on the board. And now here's the thing. The people, before I say anything, James, what do you think about billionaires just being able to buy these major communication channels like Twitter and then Facebook? So much of our media is just 100% social media, technology, internet. It's actually all of it. Everything that we use in this world is completely controlled by billionaires, to the point where now they don't like something on a platform, they just go and drop a few billion and buy it.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to control the narrative, that's what they do. Now, granted, I wonder how much control of the stuff that he has. Let me rephrase that. I wonder how much control he has in order to like change algorithms or take stuff down, if that makes any sense. So I realize, and I see now that all of a sudden Twitter has added an edit button to the tweets. I mean, I guess I'm not on Twitter that much. I thought I was, but I'm just like, there's never been an edit button before? Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I'm going to check right now. I've never seen
an
edit button. I know that's one of the things. Yeah. How about this? Well, that's one of the things he's teasing, right? Yeah. I think he feels like, if he brings us an edit button, that we'll ignore all the other things, like you mentioned. James, David, were you about to say something?
Yeah, his poll was asking like what people would want, and then all of a sudden there's also like some Twitter product people that tweeted like that they're interested in knowing what maybe their team should work on. So it's interesting, but there's in pulling details about the story, the CEO is definitely keeping an eye on Elon's Twitter feed, and now that they have him on the board, they're definitely aware, and they did this strategically. So there's no doubt that with Dorsey's exit, they did this to get a new direction. And obviously they think Musk is a good fit because I think it came out this morning, he's been buying stocks since I think they said January. And so he just refiled with the SEC, informing them that he's not inactive. It's not a passive buy. He should now be considered active. That was a development this morning.
So ABC is reporting that
in the chat too that he's on the board of directors now. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the part.
So
that's
after,
the power play right there.
And I thought you mentioned that already. So yeah, they did. Well, Ben, go ahead.
I was going to give you
that actually caps him.
ABC is reporting that Elon Musk will join Twitter's board of directors. The news comes just one day after the world's richest man purchases, according to ABC, purchased 10% stake in the social media platform. On April 4th, Musk purchased 73.5 million shares in Twitter, estimated to be worth about $3 billion. On April 5th, Twitter Inc. said in a regulatory filing that Musk's term on the board will expire at the company's 2024 annual shareholders meeting, which means he has a whole 2 years to do whatever he wants to on the board of directors. According to the agreement, Musk won't be able to purchase more than 14.9% of Twitter's outstanding stock while serving on the board or for 90 days after. So if he just waits a whole quarter, he can go and buy what he wants to of Twitter. One last thing. Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal shared his support for Musk joining the social media company's board, saying, quote, he's both a passionate believer and an intense critic of the service, which is exactly what we need at Twitter. No, you don't.
So
you
basically
do not need
all my porn about to go away. Basically, that's what they're saying.
No, I think it depends.
Just send us to space, bro.
It depends, man. I think the porn might be okay, but then again, Elon Musk is tied into that global reactionary movement of Christian fascists who want to do away with porn everywhere on the face of the planet. So you might be right, James. That is his cabal. That's the group he's working with. He's also, big buddies with Kanye West, and he's big buddies with people in the fascist movement on the right. I just don't know. Help me understand this. So many people don't see Elon Musk as the villain that he clearly is, people. I mean, I get PR, but the stuff that Elon Musk actively does is just terrible. And what he's fighting for is horrible. He tried to institute a coup. He tried to overthrow the government. Let me rephrase that. He wanted and tweeted that we should overthrow the Bolivian government so he could get the batteries for his Tesla cars. Folks, Elon Musk is not a good person, but that's just the opinion of my own, James.
So basically, he's literally Lex Luthor. He's literally Lex Luthor.
With hair plugs. Lex Luthor with hair plugs and 10% of the intelligence of Lex Luthor. But yes, that's exactly what he is. And because it's this thing, a lot of people, when you are the richest man in the world, you are clearly going to have billions of people who adore you, support you, because you know why? Not because you're a good person or someone we should look up to. It's because everyone wants to be rich. Nobody wants to be poor. So Elon Musk has this weird fan base that literally doesn't see any of the evil shit I'm on the morning show, evil stuff that he does. All they see is that, he bought Tesla and now he's pretending like he owns Tesla. So anyway, I don't want to turn this into a shit posting about Elon Musk, but I think it's really dangerous when you consider that Twitter is one of the last few places in the media space, in the internet space, where you literally can scale up based on what you say versus the algorithm. And you asked the right question, James. If he's allowed to get in there and tweak anything about the algorithm, right? That's way too much power for one man to have.
Yep, black Twitter is going down the drain. And Marshery said it best. Good morning, Mar, as well, too. Bezos is Luthor. Elon Musk would probably be Solomon Grundy.
Bezos is Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Without the charisma. Take away the charisma. Because Bezos is an uncharismatic Borg. Anyway, I want a couple other stories here. I want to jump, since I mentioned Kanye, this is a story we went to do yesterday. TMZ and Variety are reporting that Kanye, or Ye, who was supposed to headline Coachella on April 17th and April 24th, will no longer perform. The rapper has not yet been given a reason for canceling. However, West previously said that he wouldn't play Coachella unless Billie Eilish apologized to Travis Scott for what he felt was a diss aimed at the Astroworld tragedy. And now it's jogging my memory. I'm remembering why this beef was. A couple of more notes from this report. The comment Eilish made about one of her shows was Eilish. Thank you. I thought it was English, Billie Eilish.
No, Eilish.
Eilish. Whatever.
Yeah.
That person. I'm sorry. Okay, so the comment Eilish made at one of her show was, "I wait for people to be okay until I keep going." Now, for people who don't remember what happened at the Astroworld event, I think we need to pause and just make sure people have the right context. That's the event where several people were killed in the crowd. Travis Scott was performing. I think there was several other artists, big name artists that were there. And because of the push of the crowd to the front, several people, including some children, were killed. And so this is what Billie was talking about here. And this is why Kanye is pulling out. It's a lot of pettiness, but at the same time, it's like, is anybody even talking about what happened at Astroworld for real anymore? Because
of course not,
that was a tragedy of huge proportions.
You know, it's one of those things where it's swept under the rug, and Travis Scott, of course, like we've talked about before, I'm not going to say he had his hand in it, but I don't know if he knew exactly what was going on at the moment everything was happening. Mm-hmm. But when he found out, the show should have stopped. Especially, of course, it did stop after everything started going on and he realized. But it's one of those things to where these concert promoters and these people that run these venues like this, I'm sure that they swept all of this under the rug. But you're right. You haven't heard any news about this anymore since then. And Kanye being dropping from Coachella, he probably was banned from performing at Coachella because he already was banned from performing at the Grammys. Probably got banned from performing at Coachella as well too. It's just go away.
Go take a break, man. Go take a little vacation, bro. Go
on Astroworld. I believe there is a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against Scott and Drake, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where the lawsuit stands, but I remember when the lawsuit was launched, it wasn't just Scott; it was also Drake, because I think Drake
was on stage performing as well. I believe, right?
Well, I think it's Drake's label, or he produced. I think it's Drake's label. He's affiliated with it.
Well, Eilish responded by... Go ahead.
Kanye some bail real quick. This isn't the first time that he's had something to say about the Billie Eilish comments. Like he had been saying this before the whole Coachella thing.
Right.
When she first came out and said it, because like there was that whole feud back and forth when Kanye was going at what's my man name, the comedian
Pete.
dude that's with Kim. And then a lot of people was taking sides. So yeah, this isn't.
It's funny how the news all of a sudden, I don't know which one of y'all on this show, somebody on our show said this. It's funny how immediately after Astroworld, all of the news went to being about Kanye fighting with Kim and Pete Davidson. But that's as far as into conspiracy theories as you're going to get me to go. TMZ is reporting that Ye was planning to bring Travis Scott with him to Coachella, which would have been his first major appearance since the Astroworld tragedy. Eilish responded to Ye by taking to Instagram and saying, "Literally never said a thing about Travis, was just helping a fan."
Which is true. She never said anything about Travis.
She didn't say his name, but everybody knew what she was saying.
She was talking
about. It was a subtweet.
Like I'm gonna throw the stone and then go hide my hands. Like everybody knew what she was talking about. She was taking a shot, and then once the backlash came, then she was like, "No, I ain't say nothing about him."
But I think that's the appropriate shot to take, right? Hey, listen, also, not to rehash Astroworld, but Travis Scott, as much as my kids love him and as much as popular as he is, he's a dick. Did you guys see what he did to that young kid, that young videographer on stage? So I don't really have a lot of sympathy and empathy for the interconnectedness of that world and people hating on each other and the spats back and forth. The fact of the matter is if you are on stage and you have an audience in front of you, even digitally. Jesus Christ, like James, every single one of us on this show, we take care to make sure that we're responsible with our platform. So I don't think Eilish, of course she was subtweeting him. Of course she was referencing him. So I'm not going to let her slide with that. But at the same time, I think it's the right thing to say. Yo, listen.
But so at the same time, I don't think it needed to be said at all because, yeah, she maybe the sentiment was right, but it was insensitive to the people who lost their lives and the families, you know what I'm saying, of that whole tragedy there. So it didn't need to be like, it was a little jab that could have stayed in the pocket. Like it, I don't know.
And of course, you know, she's 17. She's a 17-year-old being a 17-year-old tweeting.
I'm sorry. She's how old is she?
Billie Eilish,
she's a baby.
17. See, I don't know anything about I don't know anything about Billie. I don't know anything about. I barely even know who Travis Scott is, and that's by choice. I intentionally dropped out of hip hop in 2008, and I'm just now coming back with Drake's new release. This is the first time coming back to hip hop. That's by choice. I don't know any of these people, but I do know at 17 years old, this is a grown 42-year-old man who's extending his beef with a 17-year-old.
Dwayne, I bet he know Megan Thee Stallion though.
I got to make a correction. I got back into hip hop when I first heard Megan Thee Stallion rapping, not when I saw her.
And shout out to Megan Thee Stallion too, who's gone makeup free now. And when I tell you, she's extremely beautiful without makeup. Like, oh my gosh,
the game, she's killing the game.
I just had to put that out there. I saw that this morning. I'm like, damn, Megan, you better make me reconsider my life choices. No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute, Jay. What they say about Sunshine? It's a Sunshine. Make a man. It's a mean woman to make a man change his religion. That's a mean woman. Make a man change his sexuality, James. But no, shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. And I just want to emphasize that the reason I am so enamored by her first is her rap skills. Like, I honestly, when she came out, I was like, oh, nah, she's a beast from day one with them lyrics. So
yeah.
But yes,
Billy is 20 now.
know.
I'm sorry, Billy is 20 now. Thank you, Tiger.
Okay, I'm about to say 17.
But even still,
okay. I want to play a clip. I want to go back to politics for a minute so we can see what kind of assholes we're dealing with in the real world. JD Vance is running for office now. He's a popular, I don't know what he is amongst conservatives, but he's pretty popular. And this is where we are in the year of our Lord 2022. Here's JD Vance wanting to know, are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? Because if so, this is your guy.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? The media calls us racist for wanting to build Trump's wall. They censor us, but it doesn't change the truth. Joe Biden's open border is killing Ohioans, with more illegal drugs and more Democrat voters pouring into this country. This issue is personal. I nearly lost my mother to the poison coming across our border. No child should grow up an orphan. I'm JD Vance, and I approve this message because whatever they call us, we will put America first.
And actually, now that I see that he's from Ohio, I wonder if Morgan Harper, who we interviewed yesterday, is looking to.
I think that's the seat.
Yeah.
They're running against each other. Yep. Go ahead, James. You was out like you were about to get married.
Because it was like he almost lost his mother to the poison that was coming across through there. I don't think it was the people fault that brought it over there. You know what? Never mind.
No, it's his mama's fault. Let's just say it, right? He said it. JD Vance, in his book, blamed his mama for her own drug problems. And then he said, well, how can I one up my own shit? I don't know if I'm going to make it through the rest of this episode without cussing. He wanted to know how could he one up his shittiness. And you know what he did? He said, I'm now going to no longer blame my mother. I am going to blame the quote unquote illegals that are coming across, bringing drugs across the border. These people have no soul. I honestly think that when they sit quietly in the comfort of their homes and it's really silent, you know how most of us can hear an inner monologue and you know what I mean? We hear consciousness telling us to be good people. These bastards they are so human beings, don't care about anything but political power. And yes, they will burn this country to the ground because this dude just sold out his mama. He sold out his mama on in the book that was a New York Times bestseller. But now he's going full racist, saying, "Are you a racist? do you hate Mexicans? So this is, skipping him, setting him aside for a second. This is the pathway to victory for Republicans and conservatives ever since Donald Trump got power.
Absolutely, Ben. And my gosh, and it's funny that you brought this up because I was going to say, and I meant to post some of these in our group, but looking at the ads here, David Kemp and David Perdue going against each other, it's just like, it's hilarious seeing Republicans battle the way that they fight. And it's just like, y'all petty, and both of y'all are plugging Trump like he was the big bad or something. Like, oh my God, like this is how y'all going to win y'all election, by plugging Trump like this? And for Trump to have talked about Kemp the way that he did, and for Kemp in his commercial to be bigging up Trump the way he is, bro, I'm just like, what?
They're not
WTF,
short of cucks.
dude.
They're not short of cucks on the right? They're not short of, like, for people who really buy into toxic masculinity, they don't have any spines over there. Like Ted Cruz, Donald Trump called Ted Cruz's wife ugly. You know what Ted Cruz did in response? He raised money for Donald Trump to win the presidency.
I'm about to say he didn't do what Will Smith did for Jada. Too soon? I'm sorry. Not really.
Perfect timing, actually. That was a good one. So that's Ted Cruz. Now you got JD Vance, who threw his mother under the bus. You got like they have no problem. Oh, Mitt Romney. Remember when Donald Trump trashed Mitt Romney? What did Mitt Romney do? He went to dinner and endorsed Donald Trump. Right. We look at all these people who bow their knee to Donald Trump, and yet at the same time, they're running around the country acting like they're the biggest, toughest men. And you guys really bitch the hell up when it comes to Donald Trump.
2 points if I can.
I'm not. I'm just going to drop a couple $100 in fines before the day is over.
Most times it is me, and today it is Ben. Y'all, I have not said one cuss word today.
I have cussed more in this episode than I've cussed in this year. I guarantee you I've cussed more in this episode. There's a reason for that, James. I'll tell you after the show when I go see a man. Anyway, Biden administration to extend loan. Let me tell you something, man. Listen. There's so much going on in this world. I do highly recommend everyone, whatever you do to keep your peace and your zen and your serenity and your center, continue to do it and always be ready to re-up. Biden administration to extend student loan pause. This is good news for those of us who still have student loans, even in our 40s. They are going to pause the loan calls. Again, this is the third pause, I believe, due to the pandemic. I think it's just time for them to go ahead and cancel it because Navient, I'm not answering your call. I'm not.
Thank you, Ben. And I was just about to say, y'all, they keep pushing back this date so many times, bro. It's been pushed back so much. At this point, just go ahead and cancel it. As you see, it's not affecting this economy in any kind of way. Go ahead and cancel the damn loans, man. Go ahead and cancel.
In fact, I would argue that it would help. It would help the economy tremendously if you take all of the people who are paying, because I'm not paying y'all, but if you take all the people who are going to pay you and then redirect that money into the economy, people could buy homes, people could buy cars, people could pay for their children's, and some people are trying to pay for their student loans at the same time they're trying to pay their children's student loans. Here's the gag. The number one thing any nation can invest in to make that nation more profitable is education. Yet, we're stuck with $4.2 trillion in student debt. You know why? Because greedy, vulture capitalists needed to find a new way to squeeze a penny out of poor people, and they decided to monetize education. So here we are.
I think it might
might
even be deeper than that, though, Ben. Because if you look at it, so like you said, if the people that's paying the student loans had that money, they would either invest it, put it back into the economy. It would go towards, future generations, things like that. But the reason that they don't want to do that is because you got to have it's separating the classes. Like you can't have the people in the lower class getting the leg up at all, because then they're going to start to catch up, and then the people at the top not going to have as much power. So it's deeper than just, like, yeah, of course they're greedy, but they're greedy and they want to keep the people that's
listen, man, I'm never gonna be upset with somebody on the show one up in my leftism. Push it even harder. You're right. It literally goes down to the fact that the number one way to keep people in poverty is to keep them separate from education, keep them from the why do you think they try to keep enslaved people from reading, right? It's very simple. The more you learn, the more you understand about the system. One last thing. This empire tells you everything about it. They love to brag on all the stuff they do. There are books by the hundreds about every aspect of this country, of this world. And if you actually read some of them, you would not be the kind of citizen that just sits back and watch what happens. If you read what this country has done and read what this capitalism has done to the world, you do, Dwayne, you become very active, as evidenced by this show. And you're right. They absolutely cannot allow that to happen on scale. They can't.
Yep. That's why trades and stuff are not being pushed to the forefront, because you ain't got to go get $200,000, $300,000 worth of student loan debt to go get a trade that's going to pay you $100,000 a year.
Right. Had I known the things, what I know now, man, I wasted $80,000. I wasted a car note, a damn car, almost a house. Going to nice school for a degree I'm not even using. Bro, it kind of pisses me off. Is like I spent all this money, and then the nail in the coffin, y'all. Like, and I appreciate Bethune-Cookman University for giving me the opportunity to come back to school, hell Wildcats, and do what I needed to do. But for the simple fact that I was able to go back and finish for damn free, y'all couldn't have did that 10 years ago when I was still in school. So I had to wait until I'm like grown as hell, and then y'all say, "Hey, why don't you come on back? We're gonna pay for your school, and you can finish and get your degree." Oh, okay. Better just give me this damn paper because I already paid for it like 5 times over. Just give me this goddamn paper.
Shout out to Bethune-Cookman and every other university that's doing that to us.
Yeah,
because every university is doing that to us, man.
Exactly.
Gotta love our HBCUs, but they do it too.
Mm-hmm. They really do. And I mean, and shout out to them as well, too, for allowing or starting those programs that are letting people come back, especially the HBCU programs, because I heard Morehouse has a program like that as well, too. So shout out to them for doing that. But I mean, damn, can y'all cancel the student loan debt?
Well, see, James, that's why when I left, remember when I left Cookman, I didn't finish at Cookman. I left Cookman in around 2000. And then I went to a state school, but then I dropped out. I dropped out of college at least twice. And then I dropped out of grad school once because, well, I was too young at the beginning to really understand what I wanted to focus on, right? I was just blowing money. When I came back and had to pay for it myself, that's when I actually performed well, when I was able to focus in and get what I needed. But nah, man, I totally get it. Like, there's so much of our youth that is wasted getting in debt to these universities when a lot of us at those ages really probably need some real world experiences that don't involve student loan debt.
Because you don't got no clue what you want to do. It's just been ingrained that, like, after high school, I got to go to college. Now I'm in college racking up debt in classes, taking classes that I probably ain't even going to use, and probably change my major 2-3 times. So, you know.
I was just about to ask everybody that's on this show, how many times did y'all change y'all major?
I just dropped out. That's all.
Look, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. And my mama upstairs, she can come tell me if I'm lying. I think I took my freshman year of college. I took the same classes second semester that I took first semester.
Funny story. You remember Professor Douglas? Do you remember Professor Douglas as the math instructor? So my majors when I went to Bethune-Cookman, they were math, just pure math, and music. I'm still piecing together how those two connect. But Professor Douglas, man, that professor was so strict. And I appreciate it. I'm not saying this is a negative thing, but I was able to basically skip class the entire semester and still come out of Calc 3. I came out of Calc 3 with a passing grade. Like, it was like a B-, right? But Professor Douglas said, "I don't care. Dixon, you missed that many classes. He made me come to summer school and take this class all over again." And I'm glad he did, because I learned a whole lot more by actually attending versus what I remembered from other courses. So shout out to Professor Douglas. Is he even still alive? Anybody know?
I'm not even sure. Look, and I remember that big because that was that summer that we just were all over Daytona doing everything.
Bro, that was the summer we got ran. Bro, that was the summer that we ran away from them white supremacists in Daytona. We had to hide. That was exactly the summer, bro. And no, shout out to him because like honestly, that's the summer I learned to study. That's the summer I grabbed my book finally. I grabbed that big ass calculus book and I sat down and I realized I had to read the whole damn thing to actually, to get all the nuances that he wanted. I was the guy who could do it without showing my work, and he just wasn't having that. That's what I appreciated about HBCUs. But I think I still owe them
and
money
you're right,
too.
man. That was when I learned to like focus, because just like you, I think around that point, I went to school for my original major was I was going for forensic science. So I had to forgot what my major had to be for forensic science, but it wasn't exactly forensic science. So everything was going good. I love my science classes, my biology classes. I got to microbiology and organic chemistry during band season at 8:00 in the morning, both classes. After that, doing that for a year and a half, I was like, oh yeah, after I failed and I had to go to the principal's office, the dean's office basically. And they told me, you are on academic probation. I'm like, I am changing my major. Go ahead and drop them grades, please, because this is not for me.
Yep. Now I want to finish the story. I got to finish the story out because there's some people who might remember how I left Cookman. I did end up losing my Cosby scholarship. I used to be a Bill Cosby scholar. And there's a picture, I might as well say it now. There's a picture of me standing next to Bill Cosby, as tall as he is and my short behind. He came to Cookman graduation in 99. I think you remember that. No, he gave me some Quaaludes. But anyway.
He said it like I'm short and bald head. Let me stop. Go ahead, man.
I don't know. He was into short bald men at the time. But anyway, I digress. I lost that scholarship because, differential equations. So that summer, James, the summer we hung out, I did really good in calculus. I even beat the one student in the class I couldn't beat, which happened to be a Korean student. I can't remember he was my roommate. I can't remember Yao Ming. And Yao. You remember Yao?
Hold on.
Man, that boy was so brilliant. Yao was not me, not Yao. Man, there was another Yao. But he was so brilliant. And that summer was the only summer we used to have competitions at the board who could finish a calculus problem first. And, that summer I did the work and I was able to beat him. Come that fall, James, was differential equations. I walked out of that classroom on the third day and realized I wasn't cut out. That's when I said math is over for me. After Calc 3, I said, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. And I don't know why I didn't drop the class. I don't know why, but I sure got an F in that class and lost my Cosby scholarship because of that. But anyway, it's good not to be affiliated. It's good not to be affiliated with Cosby all these years later. So that worked out for my good.
Right, it worked out for you. And you're right, being like, why did we not drop these classes? We just stood there. I should have just dropped
it. Why did I take it F? That's because I was 19 and I was stupid. I was 19 and I was stupid because if my son does that when he turns 19 and I have to pay for a course, y'all gonna call DCS on me.
Okay.
All right. Let's get back to some news before I say somebody else's name wrong. Let's go to one last story. We are this one, but I do want to bring it up again. Actually, let's do this. I want to take a pause. DJ Exclusive, can you give us a break real quick? I want to take a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we got a couple more stories that we're going to go over. We'll do a few minutes in the after party. And after that, we were going to get out of here. But more of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show right after this brief break.
I know the laughter and the pain. Will I ever love again?
All right, y'all, stay tuned. We'll be more back. We'll be right back with more Like It or Not. Shout out to Lily. Good morning, Lily, and I feel you. Teresa, good morning.
Made a promise to myself, and I repeat it in my head. Set your mind free. Set your mind free.
And shout out to Bethune-Cookman University, man. At least they gave me the opportunity to meet some extremely cool ass people and be able to do a lot of stuff, man, that I wouldn't be able to do. Like, I was the catering chef for a lot of events, but like the major one that stood out was being able to cook for the astronauts at NASA. It's really fun, really fun. But yes, I put my knives up and my pans up, and I said, I'm good with cooking.
Why do we put each other through hell? Why can't we just get over ourselves? I know we should. You cast your spell and
yes, my side hustle in college was DJing. It wasn't until years after I started. But yeah, I started DJing parties and DJ Acoustic was born.
Take it anymore. Yeah, so I stay here and hold my heart when you walk out the door. Yeah, made a promise to myself and I repeat it in my head. Set your mind free, set your mind free. No one knows what I've been through, but this is the end of me and you. Set your mind free.
So I was at a job interview today when the manager handed me a laptop and said, hey, I want you to try to sell this to me. I said, cool, okay. So I put it under my arm, left the building, and went home. Eventually he called me back and said, bring my laptop back now. I said, $200 and it's yours. Trying me, god dang it. Here's another one. I bought a pair of shoes from a drug dealer. Yeah, I bought a pair of shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but they had me tripping all day. Shout out to Industrial Arts. What's going on? Good morning to you. Derek Fuller. Good morning, Sarah A.B. Amber Layla. Good morning. Sonny Wright. What's going on? If 666 is all evil, then 25.8069758 is the root of all evil. You're welcome. My housemates are convinced our house is haunted. I've lived here for 274 years and not noticed anything strange. All right, y'all, welcome back to the screen. Benjamin Parnell, Percy Parcel, Placebo, pornography. Benjamin Pornography Dixon.
yeah, slow down on them P words. You go too much further, you're gonna sound like Republicans over here. You got too many more P words you can call me, James. You know, everything's a pedophile to the Republican Party. Oh, I take the push P.
Pushing P.
I thought you said push a T. Anyway, it was, man, listen, I love doing the show out here in the mornings. It starts off so cool. It starts off like in the 50 degrees, man. It feels great out here. It's damn near 100 degrees out here right now. I said, we got to take a break. I'm over here sweating. I'm trying to like.
Came out the sweatshirt.
Bro, it was listen, when I set up this morning, it was chilly. I'm like, oh, this is perfect, man. This weather hit 30 degrees increase in the last 2 hours. I said, forget that mess. Anyway.
Speaking of Pusha T, album coming soon. He just dropped a song with Jay-Z last night. Yes, sir.
What?
Yeah. Drake?
Yeah. Pusha and Jay.
Nah, they ended their beef, right? The Drake and Pusha T beef. That's over.
I don't kinda.
Right. That man exposed a whole child. A whole child. Pusha T rapped about a whole child that nobody knew about. And next thing you know, Drake is a good father. I swear to God, this has been.
Now you're good. Like, damn.
He's a good daddy. He rapping about it. Daddy's home. Daddy's home. You know, he's rapping about missing all the.
I don't think that's about his son, Benjamin.
I know. The beat drop. Wait, the beat drop. But Drake is the master of double entendres because at the beginning he's saying it's about his sons, but when that beat dropped, we know it's not about his sons. That's not the daddy he's talking about. But his son singular. He only has one. Let me not put that out there. And then the next thing you know, Pusha T is coming. No, anyway. What else? So we got those clips. We got some great clips from the after party. We're going to play them now. Rebecca is out. She's going to get back with us tomorrow. Shout out to her as she's doing everything that she's got to do. Dwayne, let me know which one. What we got ready? Or you want to just run one?
I can just run one. This one's a little long.
Run this one. Let's take a look at it. All right, let's take a look at this first after party clip. It was worth it, though. It was worth it. Listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing that bothers me. Like, there was a headline yesterday. It's a headline. According to sources close to Jada. I want to make sure I give you guys the context. According to sources close to Jada in a headline, she said that she really wished Will hadn't done that. Now, I really wish Will hadn't done that. But Will ain't my man. If she really said that, I kind of really be like, I feel it. I didn't feel bad for Will at first, but like, dang, now you anyway, I'll leave it alone. We don't talk about Jada. I don't need him to pull up where I am right now. We'll leave it be. I'll figure that out off air.
Keep
we got one more.
Wife's name out mouth.
Yo effing mouth. Next clip. There it is. Snack Panther said it. I like this. I like this. Snack Panther said, Will made himself a goon for nothing.
I mean, just think about what Jada's saying.
Not even for your wife, bro. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right.
Think about what Jada's saying there. I kind of wish you didn't do that. I kind of wish you didn't go on an international stage and smack another celebrity on prime time. Like,
yeah. It's one of those things where she had to say it because, I mean, yeah, you got to condemn what he did. This is like, if not, then it's just
but she doesn't. That's her man. She ain't got to condemn nothing. That's her husband.
Right. But, she still can. I still feel the same way. I was like, damn. I would have been the same way. Like, thank you for doing that, but I wish you hadn't did that. Not on, like, camera.
I say that privately for sure. I'd say that privately, but I certainly would not let that get out to any sources. I'm going to say that's pillow talk. That's pillow talk. Yep, thanks. And we got
this camera. See?
We got Rebecca. This camera does it after the second hour.
Right. Welcome,
well,
Rebecca,
listen, Rebecca Azor's here. I forgive the camera on my side, but Rebecca Azor, Queen Azor's in the house. How you doing, Queen?
Good. Sorry, was on mute. Good.
Are you on your computer microphone?
Yeah, your mic is out too, but it's all good. We're glad to see you this morning. There she is.
Okay. We don't talk
How about now?
Rebecca, no.
There it is. We don't
talk about Rebecca.
You gotta say Becca.
Becca, that's okay. Thank you. I was looking at the back.
Talk about Becca. No. How you doing?
I see y'all having a good old boys club. Y'all didn't need me.
Well, now, especially if you're trying to stay through the afternoon, because I was getting ready to go home.
Nobody was talking to you, Dwayne. And then I heard David chiming in on Will and Jada.
Yep.
See,
oh Lord, here she
came on.
She said, "Oh hell no!" Is that why you popped in?
Reason she joined.
We're gonna end the show.
Let me get on her.
I didn't even really see the segment. I just got on. What'd you say, David?
You decided to come in with 2.5 minutes on the clock.
To say that the white man should not be talking about Jada. Gordon is right.
Excuse me. I thought we talked about this. No, but no. I didn't really hear exactly what you guys were talking about.
My camera don't like me today, folks.
It looks like you guys been having a really good time. I could have saved my face for the pillow.
No, you can always say hello as we get ready to say goodbye.
Yeah. And the people love to see you, Rebecca, like always.
No, I really couldn't. Like, I didn't have to really put on any mascara, and I didn't even do heavy mascara. I could have really did a full eye, and I just...
Do you do the smoky eye? What's the smoky eye?
I do.
Is that the raccoon look, right?
Yeah, that's like when you put it right underneath. And I naturally have big old eyeballs, so I can't really always do that.
down here because it makes me look crazy. But I always do like a wing, and I don't have time to do a wing in the mornings for here because it needs to be precise. Like you got to make sure you're coming in with not cousins, but sisters at least. You know what I'm saying? Step sisters, whatever. Half sisters, I would say. Half sisters. You can't be coming in with cousins and step sisters and stuff.
Right.
Y'all hear the Buddha Boo back in the background?
Yeah.
I'm hearing a baby.
She trying to chew on my finger. She got a tooth coming in. I don't know why. It's too early for all that.
Wow, really?
She cutting teeth. She's cutting teeth. What?
Chewing on every damn thing.
I'm out again. Well, listen. Listen, let me tell you. The camera is saying, listen. As good as my setup has been for the last 2 years, you gonna come. I'm gonna buy some. You know what? You know what? This is a great reason for us to raise some money. Go ahead, Becky.
You figured that you wasn't coming? I figured that you wasn't coming because I saw what it takes.
Nobody's talking to you, Dwayne.
After you wasn't here when you said you was gonna be here, I was like, oh, she ain't coming. I ain't even got work.
Right.
Then I just seen your name pop up on the thing. I was like, I seen your name pop up. I was like, why?
You guys that I'm not coming in the morning.
It's 9:55. What are you doing?
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching Like It or Not. Patreon.com/Like It or Not. Patreon.com/Like It or Not. Thank you for tuning in with us.
I don't know if Dwayne and David want to stay.
In the Boys Club version of Like It or Not. I hope that you guys enjoyed that conversation about Will and Jada.
It was really brief. We talked about Will and Jada for 30 seconds.
Very good conversation about education.
Okay, y'all don't have to jump on me. Y'all don't have to jump on me.
Really while you was not watching the show. You know what I mean? While you was laying in your bed, not watching the show.
I was not laying in my bed.
She was probably on the hill rising.
We was having a really
tomorrow. That's tomorrow. That is tomorrow, Benjamin Dixon.
I love you.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to Like It or Not. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
She came in to say goodbye. We love y'all. Mean it.
Bye.
Came in.
We'll see everybody tomorrow.
Next time.
We love you, Rebecca.
Dwayne. Bye, guys.
Love y'all. We'll see everybody in the morning. Take care, everybody.
I hate all
of y'all are going to hell.
And all of y'all. And then Rebecca her camera cut out too. See? My camera didn't go out today. It did if I was the first one. Love y'all, mean it. We will see y'all in the mañana. Y'all gonna be great. Have an excellent day. And let's give y'all an affirmation for today. Here we go. I am resilient in the face of challenging times. I am resilient in the face of challenging times. Love y'all, mean it. Y'all gonna be great, man. Have an awesome day. Wild Wednesday. Y'all know what it is. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.
Set me